Hello, you guys. It's your girl Asia from Run Rain Spangle channel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to me doing another Degrassi season 14 review. We're going to be reviewing episode 4 called Can't Stop This Thing We Started. So, hold on. Is that the name for it? Because, yes, Can't Stop This Thing We Started. Okay, so this episode to me really has an A plot. Just an A plot. The B plot, they want to say it's the pregnancy storyline. No, the A plot is with Miles, Winston, and Tristan, and the pregnancy storyline. Fuck the B plot with Miles, Zig, and now fuck the B plot with Zig, Maya, Tiny, and Grace. I cannot believe that they literally had no plans for them. That they wanted to give them a fucking arm wrestling storyline. Degrassi, be so fucking for real. So yes, y'all, the A plot of this episode really is just the Miles, Winston, and Tristan storyline and the pregnancy storyline. I want to get into the Winston shit first because the pregnancy storyline, I got a lot of shit I need to say about that. So let's get into the Winston shit. You already know I didn't already express this idea 1,000 sometimes that if they were going to make Miles bisexual, it should have been with Winston because the way Winston was acting this episode, it was given he had some type of feelings for Miles. I mean, when you sit there next to Zoe and tell her that you didn't came with a plan to make it seem like Miles is cheating on Tristan so Tristan can break up with him so you and him can spend more time together, it's really giving you have feelings for your best friend. I don't care how Degrassi try to make it sound like. It sounded like Winston had feelings for Miles because, okay, I understand that your friend was dating girls. So now him dating a guy is kind of confusing for you. I do feel like Winston's anger definitely was coming from the fact that Tristan is a guy, not because Miles has a boyfriend. It was because Tristan was the guy. Because you have to think, when it was Maya and they were all hanging out, he didn't have a problem with that. He didn't have a problem with it being the three of them because Miles was dating a girl. But now that he's dating a guy, all of a sudden it's weird for you want to hang out with Miles. I understand you and Miles are best friends and you want to hang out with him, but at the same time, he is in a relationship. So if he has plans with his boyfriend, you can't necessarily get mad at him because you're in a relationship too. Like you told Winston, during spring break when Maya dumped me, I needed someone, and you spent the entire spring break with my sister because y'all are in a relationship. I'm not mad at that. You and her are together. But I needed someone, and as my friend, you weren't there because you had your relationship shit going on. So Tristan was, and through that time of us hanging out, we kind of liked each other. So it is what it is. I feel like, and I always say this: Degrassi is lucky that I was not in the writers' room because there's a lot of storylines they really could have done. Like I said, they could have did a fucking love story with Winston and Miles, or they could have did like a love triangle. They could have did something, anything, because this storyline, this episode with Winston act like this, literally makes little to no sense. Because it's like, why the fuck are you so mad that your friend is in a relationship when you was not bitching, moaning, or complaining when he dated other girls before? When you was not complaining when he was dating girls when he would hang out with you with his girlfriend, but now that he is in a relationship with a guy, all of a sudden it's weird. It don't need to be weird for you. Why? Because you're not dating Tristan. You're not dating Tristan. You ain't kissing him. You ain't fucking him. So it shouldn't bother you at all. Period. It would not bother me who my friends get down and dirty with. I don't give a fuck. They date guys, girls, whatever. It's none of my business. As long as they're happy, I'm good. It shouldn't bother me at all. Why? Why should it bother me? I'm not in a relationship with that person, so it shouldn't affect me at all. That's what I'm saying. Winston was a little too affected, like a little too mad. Like I said, to the point where he really tried. He It came to the point where Winston tried to sabotage Miles and Tristan's relationship when he was talking to Zoe, and when Tristan came to the classroom and basically tried to told Winston to get up because him and Miles are going to be lab partners. Zoe go tell Winston, "Oh, what did she say? You got ditched by Miles." She said, "Don't take it. Don't make it a big deal. He get bored easily, right?" I thought that was kind of funny. I think the reason why I find that funny is because Miles literally dated Zoe, Tristan, and Maya. Maya and Tristan were friends, and Tristan and Zoe are best friends. That's crazy. Like, why they have that boy go through all of them like that? That's pretty insane. It's like, damn, does the code, like, I understand your ex isn't your property or whatever, but it's like, damn, it gotta be some type of bridge, because it's like, I don't know what you and him and that nigga did before he dated me. The fuck, I don't want this nigga lips on me. Like, that should be the type of mindset. It's kind of gross and nasty, but whatever. But yeah, that's the whole Winston and Miles storyline or whatever. But you know what? I would have worded it a completely different way. I would not have made Winston feel so affected by Miles being with someone that he is not with. Y'all either should have did something where Winston had feelings for him, or did some type of love triangle. Like I said, you could have did something in season 13 that led to season 14 to where, not Tristan, Miles or Winston don't really want to be comfortable with saying that they're in love with each other. So Winston is still in a relationship with Frankie, and Miles puts himself in a relationship with Tristan, even though he knows he don't really like him. It's just a cover for, for his feelings for Winston. And whenever him and Winston are alone and Tristan pops up, it just makes things more awkward, and things like that. I would have done something like that, something that just makes sense. Instead, it makes little to no sense in this episode for your best friend to be scheming up shit to try to sabotage your relationship. Come on now, that makes no sense. Come on. Now let's get to the pregnancy storyline. Now this whole pregnancy storyline, I despise this shit with such a passion. I don't know why Degrassi wanted to make this such a thing, but you know what? Let's talk about it. So this bitch Claire honestly thinks that she can have a baby. This bitch says she said once she have her baby, she was gonna go to New York and live with Eli. First of all, girl, do you think Eli really want to take care of a kid that ain't his? And then, furthermore, even though it eventually became his, even though that don't make sense. But anyways, do you think we all know the baby should have been Drew's? 0 point blank. Come on now. We all know it should have been Drew's, because how the fuck does Claire not know who the baby daddy is? Drew was the last nigga she fucked, okay? It was never indicated that her and Eli had sex at all. So that in of itself don't make sense. They just made the baby Eli's because they needed a reason to make Claire and Eli get back together. Because he literally told her, I am not fucking with you no more. Like, he literally said, fuck you, bitch. Literally, when she was pregnant. He said he wanted nothing to do with her. He wanted nothing to do with Drew. He wanted nothing to do with that baby. Period. So, what did the writers do? They said, well, we got to make Claire endgame. How we going to make them endgame? We got to make Claire. We got to make the baby be his so we could get it pushing and keep it moving. So it's like, okay, so you use Drew as a plot device this entire season in a storyline that he did not need to be in, just so you could put Claire back together. It's so stupid. Like, we all know that the baby should have been Drew's. I would have been completely fine with the baby being Drew's and her carrying it to term, or, the baby, whatever, her having a miscarriage. I've been completely okay with that, because at least it would have made sense for the babies to be Drew's. It makes little to no sense for the babies to be Eli's, and then you give her a miscarriage. I thought the whole point of her being pregnant was that, she was going to eventually keep her child. But you know what? I'm spoiling shit before I even got to those episodes. But I just want to express how I'm feeling, y'all. Like, they literally used Drew as a plot device this entire season. He didn't do anything. Like, nothing. And then fans will literally see in your motherfucking face and say that Eli, Claire, and Drew three's love triangle or pregnancy storyline or whatever is the best storyline to ever be written in Degrassi. Huh? This pregnancy storyline is the best storyline to be ever written in Degrassi. Get the fuck out of here. This mumbo jumbo of mess is not a good storyline at all. I despise the pregnancy storyline with a passion because it ruined Claire, it ruined Eli, it ruined Drew. It was a bunch of mumbo jumbo. It was mess. It was convoluted. They brought Eli and Drew. They put them in this storyline to be plot devices. What the fuck did Eli do? Eli came back to town, worked a summer job in the dot. He came there to get back with Claire, but, Anyway, y'all, yeah, that's that. But like I was saying, this bitch Claire gonna say once she have her baby, she was gonna move to New York with Eli. I'm thinking in my head, first of all, if the babies was Drew's, right? What makes you think Eli want to take care of a kid that ain't his? And then furthermore, what makes you think he really want to take care of a kid of a nigga you fucked when you broke up with him? Girl, if you get the fuck out of here, that literally makes no sense. You gonna have a baby and then go across state? You gonna just leave and go live with some guy? Talk about I'm sure Eli gonna help. No, her mother is right. You didn't be here so your family could so we could surround you and take care of you. And then Drew mom was like, did you know about this? Drew talk about whatever she wants. No, nigga, it shouldn't be okay for her to just give birth to your child and then move all the way to New York. Don't you want to see your kid? And then furthermore, why you want a nigga who ain't the dad to take care of your child? Like, what? I can't believe Drew just sat there and just said nothing. Like, nigga, speak up. That shit blew me. Like, I mean, yeah, was his mama coming a little disrespectful? For sure. But you know what? I'm not gonna stand here and be like, oh, you know what? She not wrong. Yeah, let's run our paternity test. And you know, if they was thinking, they would have done that shit because there would have been no reason for Drew sitting on that couch at all having these conversations if you was going to say a couple episodes later the baby was Eli's. Like, what the fuck? The mother is not wrong. Let's run a paternity test because I'm not about to be sitting here and talk about cribs and car seats and da-da-da-da-da. This child ain't even mine. The fuck? If it's not my grandchild, if it ain't my son's child, there's no point of us even sit on this couch. Period. I mean, Claire is just like delusional. You should have told Eli about the baby. She should have told Eli she was pregnant the second she found out. Her keeping it a secret, it just made it even more lies. Like, you lied to this nigga for months about carrying a baby in your stomach. That's the nigga who you fucked when you broke up with him. And you think he was just supposed to be okay with it? Like, I don't get it. And then they keep doing this weird shit where it's like the show wanted it's like the show wanted to put Claire and Drew in a relationship. And I only say that because when she was pregnant, there were certain scenes where it felt like they were dating, but they wasn't. Like, what am I thinking of? Like, Drew said that he didn't know that Claire was thinking of going to New York when she gave birth to the baby. And she said, why didn't he say anything? Because, bitch, you blindsided me. All these plans you came up with, you didn't conversate any of that to me. Don't you think, as the father of this child, I should have a say in when and where you take my kid? Bitch, what makes you think you're going to give birth to this baby and then just go to New York and go be with Eli? Hell no, girl. That means I got to move to New York so I can be with my kid. Like, what is we doing? She talked about, oh, we don't have to let me being pregnant affect our lives, which is like delusional because it's like, girl, you're about to have a baby. Of course it's going to affect your life, dumb. And then Drew was right. I mean, I don't know why. It's not the 1950s, so I get why Drew keeps saying that they should move in together. But in the day, him and Claire are not in a relationship. They don't have no love for each other. So it's like, nothing in this world will ever make me move in with a nigga that I'm not in love with. There's no point. You want to put confusion on top of more confusion? Like, if the baby really was Eli's, I mean, if the babies was Drew and Claire and Eli never would have got back together, I actually would have been okay with Claire and Eli. Why the fuck do I keep saying Eli? If the baby wasn't really Eli's and they would have just made it Drew's child, I'd have been okay with Claire and Drew actually getting to know each other besides just the sexual attraction they have for each other, to where they actually wanted to raise a family together. Like some Amy and Ricky shit. Like, if they actually would have, like, just in the span of 28 episodes that this season have, and, you know, they actually would have, like, you know, did something where they can grow on you, I'd have been completely okay with them. I'm not even gonna hold. But the reason why I despise it in season 13 is because they did all of it for the wrong reasons. Now, if they was to do it like how I'm saying it in season 13, where they actually made it seem like it was a love story or whatever, like how in season 14, if they wanted to know, you know, see what they could be like as a couple raising a baby, I'd have been okay with it. I was like, okay, yeah, give me the green light. Show me what y'all can do. But the fact that Eli was still in the picture, they had no choice but to make Claire be with Eli. So it was just dumb. Like, it's just stupid. Claire tell Eli she's pregnant. He tell her, why didn't she ever say anything? She said it's Drew's. He get pissed and say her being pregnant with this nigga baby changes everything. Claire said she still wants to be with him. Eli said he don't give a fuck, and she crying and talk about what are we gonna do. Drew said he don't have a clue, but he's sure that their parents are gonna have an idea. I despise the pregnancy storyline because it's like, Claire, how you trying to have your cake and eat it too? How are you gonna get mad at Drew for wanting to be in a relationship with Becky and still want to be a parent? Talk about, oh, he can't have both, but bitch, sure you are standing here trying to be with Eli and not trying to acknowledge that you are pregnant. Bitch, how is it fair? Like, I feel like they should have put her trying to be with Eli on the back burner. I don't even know why they try to make this the main focus of the first half of this season. I don't care about Claire and Eli's relationship at all. So as far as I'm concerned, I didn't give a damn whether they were in game or fucking not. Either they're gonna be together or not. Period. That's really all this should come down to. We're gonna be together or what? Period. But I really didn't give a fuck about Claire and Eli relationship anymore because they just did too much for their relationship. Where I just feel like, damn, they just doing a lot. They doing the most. They doing too much for me, and I just didn't like it. Period. So as far as I'm concerned, I did not give a fuck if Claire and Eli was in game or not in season 14. But we all know the reason why they made the baby his is so they could be in game. Come on, because they didn't really have to do that shit for real. So, yeah, but this is episode 4. It is what it is. I can't stand the pregnancy storyline, and I'll catch you guys later.